Greetings, Good Shepherd family. I want to share with you the news that we are making a small adjustment to our service times that will be effective March 3rd. This was not a decision we came to lightly or quickly, but after much conversation with vestry, staff, parents. When we first began to talk about doing something new with youth and children formation and creating the youth and family minister position, I emphasize the primacy of Christian formation at home for raising our kids to be lifelong followers of Jesus. Recognizing that parents and other family members spend thousands of hours a year with our kids, whereas at church, we're lucky to have them for 40 or 50 hours. Our focus, therefore, is to support and encourage formation at home, sacred practices and habits and so forth. But this does not mean, however, that we then neglect or diminish Christian formation at church. Programs such as Sunday school, children's church, youth group, and so forth, this is where our kids learn the value of Christian community and being formed by our sacred stories and traditions in community. As such, we as a church, we have to do both. We have to support our families in forming their children, and we have to offer meaningful formation and community building opportunities at church. That being said, the 9:30 Sunday school hour is just not working. Over the last decade, we've had some varying degrees of success, but time and time again, we have heard that 9:30 is just too early, especially given the demands our families are dealing with today. So, to facilitate formation programming for all ages, we're going to move our Sunday school hour from 9:30 to 10. But this means that we need to adjust the start of our present 10:30 service to 10:45 and our 8 o'clock service to 8:30. So let me explain. For the 10:30 service, we're making some adjustments to how we do the service and the announcements so that the service will end at 11:45, which is basically when it ends now. In other words, we're starting the service 15 minutes later, but we're ending it basically at the same time as we do now. So here's how that's going to work. Sunday school for all ages, more details on that in a minute, will begin promptly at 10 a.m. and will end by 10:35 at the latest. Announcements then will start around 10:40 a.m. and in this way, any kids or adults who need to vest for the service will have time to do so after Sunday school, but even if that means they may miss the beginning of the announcements. But birthday blessings and anniversary blessings will begin promptly at 10:45, after which we will line up for the opening procession. This, along with some other adjustments to the service that we are making, will make it possible to end the service by 11:45, followed by coffee hour, choir rehearsal, all the same stuff, everyone getting home at the same time as they do now. This is accompanied by an adjustment to our early service as well, because we are making this adjustment to strengthen our formation programming. The last thing we want to do then is separate the 8 o'clock congregation further from the formation offerings, which is why it'll start at 8:30. Otherwise, there'd be a full hour between the end of that service and the start of Sunday school. Now, as for Sunday school, we will have kind of a more traditional-looking Sunday school for 4th through 6th grade and for adults. And with the adult formation, it will always be offered as intergenerational, something appropriate for youth and adults at junior high and high school and adults, much like confirmation class is now. If the confirmation class has taught us anything this year, it's that our adults and our youth are enriched by being together. But in addition to whatever adult offerings we have, there will be various times in the course of the program year for our youth for fellowship and community building during that 10 o'clock hour. Now, for our 3-year-olds to 3rd grade, we're going to be moving to a more traditional-looking children's church at the 10:45 service. Children will be in the church to tell the gospel, at which time they'll process out for age-appropriate gospel reading, lessons, activities, creed, confession, prayers, and so forth, and then come back to be with us at communion. But then during the 10 o'clock Sunday school hour, there will be crafts and activities related to what we're doing in children's church that day for that age group. And then from time to time, we will also do godly play or something similar for our younger kids in brief seasons, though, so as not to overtax our parents and volunteers and so forth. Now, Sunday school volunteers will still help Lacey, Karen, and me in all of these opportunities for all ages. In keeping with intergenerational community building and formation, we encourage our junior and high school kids to sign up to help with both Sunday school age groups for our younger kids. And we also encourage everyone in our congregation from time to time to be involved in these classes and community building activities at that 10 o'clock hour. One thing we learned from talking with parents and kids at a meeting we had last fall is that our older members, you older members of our congregation, our kids absolutely cherish the moments that they have with you in church. We heard that quite clearly. And we can have the greatest lesson plans, rich in theological content and religious training. But that pales in comparison to the impact that you make showing up and showing a little interest in our kids' lives. So I encourage you, talk to Lacey, talk to Annalisa, talk to me or Karen, find out what you can do to be involved and how you can really make a difference in the lives of our young people. Now, I know that this kind of change is rarely welcomed without some hesitation or anxiety or concerns, and we will certainly give this enough time for all of us to get used to and evaluate its effectiveness before making any other changes. But know that none of this is permanent if it does not manifest as beneficial. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to speak to me or to your vestry. I am confident, though, that although we are making some small changes, adjustments, that this is going to make a huge difference. And the vestry and parents and grandparents that we've been in communication with, they feel the same. God bless you in our household of faith at Good Shepherd, and may God bless us all richly by His grace as we grow together in our journeys of faith.